Chad, we made it out of Jacksonville with a W. We got a Week 10 recap coming at you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Our intent was to eat. Our intent was to come eat and be hungry.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.
Dumbass. Anyway,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the South End Zone. If you are brand new here, that has been our intro the entire season, and it will continue to be our intro. Just to further drive home the point that Brian Kelly is not the head coach at LSU.
It's having those vibes of Jimbo Fisher's trophy that said when he was going to win the national championship.
Yep, sure enough. Well, welcome back to the South End Zone. My name is Tyler, joined as always by my good friend Chad.
Yes, sir.
LSU had the week off this week. Chad got to relax and kick back and watch some football, which is kind of nice.
Great weekend in Nashville. It was a lot of fun. So a lot. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just watch everybody else suffer.
Yeah, right. It is nice when chaos is happening around you. You know your team is off, just to just kind of sit and relax. We go down to Jacksonville, and once again we find ourselves in a good old fashioned rock fight. I don't know what you want to call it. Just a street fight might be a better word, as Josh Pate will call it. We just find our ways to win, and that's kind of a win is a win is a win in these scenarios, especially against your rival. No matter, and I said Florida's record had little to nothing to do with how good Florida is. They have good guys, they have a good team, they have a good roster. It came down to coaching for a lot of it, and they came out firing.
It's coaching, and also let's be real. They've played one of the toughest schedules in America, if not the toughest. And so 3-5, I wish a lot of other teams good luck at being at even 3-5 if you played Florida's schedule.
Right. Yeah, and they played USF, who was good too. They had a tough draw the whole year. Let's get right into it. We get the ball first, and we just put together the most perfect opening drive. It was clearly these are the plays we want to run, and we're going to run them, and that's exactly what we did.
Shout out to Mike Bobo.
Shout out to Mike Bobo. 8 plays, 75 yards. And you know why I love that drive so much, Chad? Because we threw to the tight ends. That's how we get downfield, Chad.
Yeah. We
give the ball to Elias Williams and Oscar Delp. Ends with a Dylan Bell touchdown. Beautiful.
Doesn't it always end in a Dylan Bell touchdown, though? It seems
sometimes. He's Mr. Johnny on the spot. He's one of my favorite utility guys that we have on this team. We go Florida punt. Hey, we stopped the team in the first half of football game, Chad.
That's right.
We then also punt, and then the most inexplicable. It was it's one play touchdown for Florida where Lagway rolls out to his right, and I just think he's just throwing it away. That's like when the ball leaves the frame.
I saw the first receiver on the sideline.
Right.
I just thought he threw it over his head.
No, I thought he was throwing it out of bounds. And our safety
there's Eugene Wilson wide ass open behind him.
Right. Trey Wilson, Eugene Wilson. Our safety is clearly watching Lagway. And buddy, you're not making a tackle for loss from 30 yards upfield. You are if Lagway breaks contain and actually gets upfield, that's when you're supposed to be there. But your assignment is literally the deep half of the field, and that guy is behind you, butt naked. And so it was just so weird. I'm oh, that's a touchdown. All right, 7-7, we go. So we give that up, and there was a lot of instances where we're just not. Our safeties are just not seeing guys deep. I don't know. They're just not sticking to their assignments. It's so bizarre. We then compound that mistake on the next drive with a ball that hits Noah Thomas kind of off the hands and the chest. And, of course, whenever a ball gets popped up in the air, there has to be a defender ready to just, boop, oh, thank you very much, and they go. We are then able to hold into a field goal after that, so we get lucky there, 10-7. Second quarter, we then go a 10-play drive that stalls out. Florida 3 and out, another first half stop. We stall out with an 8-play drive with a holding call. And 2 plays later, I've never seen this happen. Gunner gets hit with a false start. Gunner Stockton, because he goes, and they is that not a hard count? Is that not a hard count?
Yeah, but I think it's because he leaned forward though.
I guess you can't mimic whatever. They said his hard count was just too good, is what I'm hearing. Like it was just clap, and I guess I don't know if it was like his head moved.
What I'm saying is that it's the when you do the you know what I'm saying you're doing a little bit too much, but it's one of those things where.
No offense, it's like Aaron Rodgers does that shit all the time. Free play, we're gonna throw it down the sideline.
Right. But it's so inconsistently enforced. So it's like you can't call it one time in a blue moon and never call it.
I've never seen a quarterback get called with a false start with all of the hard counts that guys do. I'm just whatever. Like if he moved, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up punting, and then a couple empty drives on both sides of the field. We hit a field goal, make it 10-10 at half. All right, second half. We can play football now. We are unlocked. We are allowed to play football according to how the season has gone. All right. We open with a Florida 3-and-out. We love that. Second half, so that's what it means. We can play some football. We score fit 5-play, 74-yard drive, capped off with a Noah Thomas touchdown, including two massive throws by Gunner. I think one was for 40 and one was for 20-something. So just great plays by Gunner, moving us down the field. Florida then matched us with their own 12-play touchdown drive. This is DJ Lagway playing as DJ Lagway is advertised to be, doing it with his legs, doing it with his arm.
He actually, that's the longest and the best, really athletic run I've seen him make.
20+ yard run off of him.
Yeah.
It was DJ Lagway doing what he's been touted to do. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's great for him. As highly talked about as he is, you kind of like to see that out of him. It makes Florida look better. It's just good for the league when that guy's good. We then have our own 3-and-out, including a dropped snap for a 10-yard loss by Gunner. It was went over his head. Fourth quarter, Florida kicks the field goal. We are now down 20-17. We then compound that down 20-17 with our own 3-and-out, which is great. Florida then puts together a drive that brings them all the way down to our 19-yard line. It's third and 2, 3rd and 3. Lagway runs a keeper out to the right, and I swear to God, he fumbled it. He reaches out, and the ball hits the ground and comes out before his knee hits, and he then falls. Whatever, they said runner was down, but let me tell you something. Ball don't lie, Chad. They give the ball to Ball on 4th and 1 instead of kicking the field goal, like you said, Chad. Instead of taking the points. To be fair, they would have been up 6, but instead of taking the points, they go for on 4th and 1 on R18, and we stand them up and turn them over. What have I told you before, Chad? Every time this year, and I hate that we've had to put him in this spot so many times. When we've called on Gunner to be a gamer and to be a leader and make good big plays late in games, he has delivered every single game, Chad. I'm telling you, and this is no shade. I think if Carson Beck was put in this many uncomfortable positions as our quarterback still, I don't think we win as many games as we have.
We're going to hear about this very notion a little bit later in this show.
I'm just saying,
so get ready for it.
Gunner has been given the opportunity to win these games, and he's taken it, Chad. And that's you can't teach that, in my opinion. You can't teach winning. We have a 7-play, 82-yard drive, capped off with a massive Chauncey Bowen's 36-yard touchdown run. And then I honestly kind of hate that all of our games have featured just the most by a millimeter, put the refs the game in the refs' hands, plays. I don't like it. I don't like that it comes to it in our games. It pisses me off that we have to because then that's all people can talk about. If it goes our way, that's all the people can talk about. Oh, the refs are helping Georgia. Oh, the refs are this. Oh, that. That's all. They just disregard everything that happened before that
or after it. Yeah.
Or after.
Yeah.
And it's obviously, refs in the back pocket. Suck my dick. Honestly, that's how I feel, Chad. Just fuck off. So Lagway throws this big ball, down to Sturdivant. It would have been on our 21-yard line. And he like kind of like the ball is falling and he catches it kind of like this or doesn't, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Attempts to catch it like this, right? So it's, by the way, Florida fans, if your boy doesn't underthrow the ball, that's a walk-in touchdown. Let's not forget that. So if that ball's not underthrown, we have nobody there. That's bad defense. And they rule it incomplete. Like the announcer's like, oh, he just hit the ground. And like in real time, which is what the refs are supposed to do, they call it incomplete.
Yeah. And that's not a bad one because it's not like a fumble or anything like that where whether he catches it or doesn't catch it, the ball's dead right there anyway.
But still, that's like a big play. Like it was a big throw, big play, right?
Yeah, the only difference is it is harder to overturn whatever.
Right, and then they look at it. Every angle is like, oh, did it hit the ground? Did he catch it? Did it hit the ground? Did he catch it? And so my honest opinion is with that replay, it literally like whatever the call was on the field was going to stand.
Yeah, so here's my
whatever the call was going to be was going to stand. Like if they called it a catch, they probably could have called it a catch. If they called it an incomplete, like there's not enough evidence to say that it wasn't. It's just so ticky-tack.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate it had to go.
Here's my rule proposal for the future of sports.
Yeah.
Whenever anyone requests a replay, there are 3 potential outcomes. Outcome number 1 is call is overturned. Outcome number 2 is call is confirmed. Like it is, yes, it's definitely a catch, or yes, it's definitely incomplete, whichever one it is. Option number 3 is if it is inconclusive and you can't tell enough to confirm it or to overturn it, and it falls into the stands or upheld or whatever.
You have no evidence to say otherwise.
Do-over. It's a do-over.
A do-over.
Reset the clock, put the ball back where it was, play the play over again.
Ball don't lie.
Just play it over again. The ball don't lie. That's exactly right. I think it would solve everything.
Yeah.
Because what's really frustrating is when you have one of these plays, to your point, even though the referees and the replay folks didn't do anything wrong because it's so controversial, nobody really knows what the real call is.
Yeah, I think we still know. Like
everybody can see it both ways.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like if 50% can see it one way and 50% can see it the other,
run it back. That's all I'm saying. Ball up top.
Yeah, no, don't hate it.
That's it. And then you just see what happens. And if it's meant to be, then you take away the people bitching and saying like, "Oh, the refs bailed you out." Because if it's inconclusive,
it really was.
Then you should not be changing the game one way or the other based on the call on the field. It doesn't matter. Like if it's conclusive, he either definitely caught it and everybody can tell, and thank God we reviewed that because now we overturned it. Or if it's the other way around, it's like, oh yeah, the ball obviously hit the ground. You can see it bounce off the ground before he even gets a hand on it, and it goes up into his chest, and then he secures it. Okay, then nobody's bitching about it and saying the refs bailed you out. And if it's inconclusive and you just run it back, and then the next play is an interception or a touchdown or whatever, then everybody lives with the result, and nobody's bitching about the refs bailed anybody out again. True. So anyway, that's just my little proposal.
That's true. It's true. So we end up turning them over. I think they punt. Then we drive down the field. And sorry, gamblers, I don't know if you saw this, but Gunner pulls it on the read option out to the left, gets the first down, and instead of walking in, just takes a knee on the one. Listen, all I have to say is what guarantees that Florida's chance of coming back is zero? Is literally zero, which is Gunner taking the knee at the one. That ensures that Florida will have zero opportunity to win that game.
Yep.
You leave no doubt.
Yep.
Listen, if he would have scored, I would have been just as happy. I don't care. We win the game.
It's a round ball with a pointy tip on each end.
Yes, it can bounce anywhere direction.
You do not leave anything to chance if you have the opportunity to not leave anything to chance.
Yeah, exactly. So you take the 100%er, which is getting the first down and taking the knee at the one. Ball game in Jacksonville. And so what a game. I still think that Florida's a great team. I think that like with the right coaching, they could be right back to what they used to be, if I'm being honest with you, Chad. with the roster they have and the players they have. They are a good team. I think
Mhm.
it's funny that like we were recruiting Jaden Ball and Chauncey Bowens was once committed to Florida and flipped to us.
Yeah.
For him to walk us off essentially at the end of the game was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we get it done. And
Yep.
there was a bunch of other craziness, that weird stuff happening around the country in this one, including this Vandy going on the road. They go down really big. They were down 34 to 10, 31 to 10. They were
No,
down
it was 34-10, and then they outscored Texas
34 to
31
10.
or 21-0 in the fourth quarter.
Including, so they drive, they make it 22 to 34. They go for two, Chad. I'm gonna have to show you this. This is, sorry, ESPN, if you yell at me.
Fair use. We
Fair
are
use,
just
fair use.
reporting the news here.
Yeah, can you see this, Chad?
Yes.
Okay, ready? So this is their 2-point attempt.
30 yards off the total because of the sacks. To the goal line, ball extended, did not get there.
We got it in there.
Sherrill reached for the pylon. Sensing another opportunity for the progressive pylon camera. Jalen Gilbo stopped the play.
This is a great throw, perfect progressive.
Tip of the ball over the
cam
line,
shows
or
you. Let's watch
across
the
the
ball
front of the line.
extend.
No,
Oh,
sir.
no, he did not get close.
Looks like it was short from that.
What'd you say, Chad?
Did they never review it?
No, they reviewed it and they gave it to him. They gave them
man,
that 2-pointer.
Was it a call stands, like that kind of thing? Yeah, not a confirmed. So that's the thing that what college football did this year is they said it's either overturned or it's upheld, and they don't have the gray area.
They said call us upheld, even though, like, I swear to God, like, I don't think any part of that ball crossed the goal line.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like a foul fair thing, and like you can clearly see the ball go in front of the foul pole, and it's like, yeah, but it's on the wrong side, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So and then they then score again on a busted coverage, and then they kick the onside, hits a Texas guy in the chest. Vandy tries to fall on it, and the ball scoots out of bounds. So it's just a Texas kick. No. It's a Vandy kick out of bounds, which means it makes a Texas ball with the penalty.
40, yeah.
Yeah, so close. It all came. This game was pretty much, dude. This is one of Arch's best games of the year, bar none. Yeah. Like, he looked damn good in this game, and maybe he's needed time to get going. There was also like some Sark because Sark was an OC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Sark was running like double reverse, throwback, halfback, screen pass, it was like flea flicker, double. It was crazy.
Yeah,
the calls that he was throwing out there, and then it was honestly the Texas pass rush: 6 sacks, 10 tackles for loss.
Yeah.
Vandy got no push up front whatsoever.
Well, look at Diego Pavia's rush line; like it's very telling. 14 for 43 and a touchdown. All right, sounds good enough, but 6 sacks for 39 yards.
Yeah, dude. Like, Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill, Ethan Burke, dogs. Pavia ends up 27-38, 365, 3 touchdowns, 1 fumble lost, 14 carries, 43 yards, and a tud. Arch 25 for 33, 328, and 3 touchdowns. It was just like pretty much like Texas gave him that belt early, and then Vandy did have a chance, but like sometimes when you score your points too early, you have to then just kind of sit on a lead and hope for the best.
Right.
And so that's kind of how that game ended up at Austin. I know you didn't get to see it, but I don't know. Texas has been so close to losing multiple games to bad teams, and Vandy's actually a good team, and we get them in Athens in 2 weeks.
Well,
so
what I've noticed though is when Vandy has played a lot of really quality teams.
They have.
And
they've had a tough schedule.
When they get them at home, they take care of business. When they go on the road, it's a little bit of a different
my
story.
ultimate road dog statement is going downhill.
Yeah.
Because he's now lost 2.
Yeah, at Alabama and at Texas.
Yep.
And close. And the thing is, too, it's in both cases,
close losses.
It's close losses and losses where if they handle a couple of things earlier in the game.
They just don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, they're in a much better spot.
A couple less TFLs.
But that's football, man. That's
exactly
football.
what it is.
So another one that was a just football kind of game.
Talk to us, Chad.
Look, man, I don't know that I've seen an uglier offensive performance than what what Oklahoma did with their performance. Was it a couple of weeks ago when they got
against
handled?
Texas?
Yeah, no. This was last week against
Ole
Miss.
Against Ole Miss, yeah.
Against Ole Miss, where they struggled. Their defense tried to keep them in it, but Ole Miss's offense proved to be too much. This game, however, this is a perfect example of, someone who we know said early in the season that Oklahoma has no run defense and that Michigan was going to just run all over them. Well, I haven't looked at it here this week, but Oklahoma has like one of the top 5 run defenses in the country. And it was fully on display this weekend against Tennessee, because Oklahoma held. Now, it's not to say that their secondary doesn't have a little bit to be desired, but they held Tennessee to a total of 63 rushing yards on 35 carries. And it wasn't like that was all sacks. I mean, it was you had 30 yards worth of sacks, 4 sacks of Joey Aguilar. But this was your best rushing attack was Deshaun Bishop, and he had 12 carries for 38 yards. So this was not – it's not like Tennessee actually ran the ball well, but the sacks kind of skewed the numbers. No, the numbers were bad regardless. And the inability to run the ball effectively, and then conversely, having Oklahoma run the ball as well as they did. 35 – so two teams ran the ball 35 times apiece. 63 yards for Tennessee, 192 for Oklahoma. And so when you look at the stat line, it's like, well, I'm trying to find, John Mateer didn't throw a touchdown pass. They only had 2 rushing touchdowns. How did they score 33 points? Well, the answer is 4 field goals, 4 for 4, including 3 for 3 from 50 plus. Tate Sandell, this I don't know if you saw it, but this dude was wearing like a thong or something. Yes, like
booty shorts.
How is this legal? Like when I was playing football, you had to have knee pads on your knees.
Yeah.
Now receivers don't. Their knee pads are up, on their thighs. They don't have their knees are not covered because it's. I get it. It's very. It interferes with your ability to run.
Cumbersome.
And it's very cumbersome. So. But this is another level. This dude just said, "To hell with that! I just want to wear biker shorts. I'm good."
What he said.
And so, he hit. He was 1 for 1 from between 40 and 49, and then 3 for 3 from 50 plus. Tennessee missed a 37-yarder that would have made this a lot more interesting. But the biggest play was late in the game. There was a pass right across the middle that. Staley had like right in his hands, and he just dropped it, and they ended up having to kick a field goal late. Let's see, where was it? Or no, it wasn't Staley. It was Mike Matthews. It was like they had beaten the coverage, they had split the safeties, and this guy's coming across, and it hits him right in the hands at about the 5-yard line. And he's going to walk in for a touchdown, and instead they have to kick the field goal. But this is another one of those instances where, similar to what I talked about, was it last week or week before last with Bobby Petrino in Arkansas, where you mismanage your timeouts, or in this case, I'm not a big fan of when you're down by 2 scores and a field goal gets you within 1 score. You need to try to take the field goal as quickly as possible.
Yeah, make it so you're not kicking the field goal at the horn or something like that.
Yeah, and also burning clock.
Right.
Now they end up not getting the onside kick, so it doesn't really matter. But had they gotten the onside kick, then you're kind of up against it, and you're trying to kick a field goal at the end where you're trying to get into field goal range. You only have 20 seconds left. If you're at midfield with 20 seconds left or 3 seconds left, you can still throw a Hail Mary. Right. You can't Hail Mary a field goal. So you might as well get the field goal while you can, because what teams do, I see it all the time. They waste another 45 seconds to a minute and maybe even burn timeouts trying to take extra shots at the end zone to try to get that touchdown first. It's like, no, you're already in field goal range. You're at the 34-yard line. Kick the field goal, get going, and then let's get the ball back.
And give yourself more time later to drive
Yes,
down the
and then
field.
you have more time to drive down the field and get the ball into the end zone.
And you're not
The other
having
thing
to
is
do
too,
like a
teams are
fire
going to
drill
play
field goal.
cushion coverage anyway, so that you're going to have like underneath throws, and it's going to be really hard to challenge downfield. But in this case, they had a touchdown, dropped it, and were not able to recover from that, and they end up losing 33-27. They also had a big sack strip fumble for a touchdown by R. Mason Thomas, where he just, I think it was 71 yards. Oklahoma took it to the house on a Joey Aguilar fumble. But this is, it's again, Jeremiah says Tennessee is fool's gold. I don't know. I mean, you could say that. I don't know that a lot of people expected a whole lot out of Tennessee this year, because with Nico exiting and getting Joey Aguilar in, I think everybody was thinking they were playing above their heads for the first.
This game is
2
the reason I
months.
didn't pick a side. I'm like, I have no idea. But I guess I just like still like hands up. No, not sure.
Yep. But to go into Neyland Stadium and get it done
when they were going night
is a big deal.
mode, Knoxville at night, the black uniforms, all the pageantry, and still get a W, that's huge.
Yep. And Oklahoma rises back to
ain't dead yet
playoff contender conversation. Now, John Mateer, I think the Heisman train is probably
unfortunately gone.
Just like, I don't know, it needs repairs. It's at the station getting worked on. It's probably dead, but yeah, it's looking good for Oklahoma if they can win out, because they have enough. They've got a game against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. They've got LSU coming to Norman. They win both of those games, they're right there in the playoff, and probably in a good spot in the playoff, because they're probably not going to have to play in the SEC championship game the way that things are looking. But as challenging as that road is, that means that a third loss is a lot more likely than it is for some. They're
going to play Alabama still
teams
too.
in other conferences. That's right. So it's going to be really interesting. I think Tennessee is done when it comes to the playoff conversation, but they gave it their all, and now Josh Heupel can focus on whether or not he's going to take a different job somewhere else, whether it's LSU or Florida.
Crazy. There's no way he takes a new job.
I don't, and me personally, hearing people throw his name out there for the LSU job, I don't want Josh Heupel. Like I feel like it's one of those things where it's a semi-lateral move, and you're kind of doing the same thing that you did with Brian Kelly. Here's a guy who has proven that in the SEC at a historical program, a program that has a national title or two under its belt and has had tremendous success and has had tons of talent, he still finds a way to, to Jeremiah's point, like the fool's gold thing kind of lands, because they seem to always lose 2 or 3 games no matter what. I mean, when's the last time Tennessee went 11-1, 12-1?
Right.
Forever.
I think that their best shot was when they had Hendon Hooker, but we beat them. So
yeah, and then they lost to South Carolina and Spencer Rattler after that.
Right.
And I know he got hurt in that game, but they were getting their ass kicked before he got hurt. So
yeah, right. True that.
Yeah, so it's just
he's the best thing for them right now, in my opinion. Though I think that Heupel is still their best option at coach.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big one for him too, considering he played at Oklahoma. Right. Like that was what he wanted for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and vice versa. That I'm sure Oklahoma was like, the Oklahoma fans were like, we're gonna take it to you, buddy. So so another game that probably ended someone's playoff hopes. Dude. Holy cow, man.
And there's such a talented roster. I just it's crazy that they lose this game. It's funny though. How many times Chad said, "Hey, Miami's not leaving the state of Florida till this week. Miami's not leaving the state of Florida till this week." And I guess the travel got to them. And what's crazy is they were up 20-17 with I was going to say minutes left.
When Rhett Lashley got a contract extension right before this game too, and I was just like, man, that's crazy to give your coach a contract extension, and he goes and loses a home game to Miami, and then it's like, oh no, what, they found a way.
Oh, dude, back 2 picks, including the game sealer, and this is the second time, dude.
Yeah,
he's gone on a press conference and said, I don't know, I threw the throw I need to throw. I don't know. I did what I was supposed to do. I did what I was supposed to do, apparently.
He really say that?
That's the second time he's done that. Both game losing
That
interceptions,
is
he's deflected. I don't know if I not bring that up against the Louisville. He's like, yeah, I threw the receiver ran the wrong route, was his excuse in the Louisville game. And then this one was like, yeah, I threw the play as called.
that. So
It's called
I'm
looking
just
at
gonna throw
the
this
defender and
out there.
realizing it's in front of your receiver. Hello.
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this out there. That is an undraftable quality in a quarterback.
Yep. It's twice now he has put the blame.
The fact that he took the
elsewhere.
money to leave off
Right.
of a playoff team to go to a team that didn't make the playoffs, and now he's not going to make the playoffs again. Yeah, well, crystal balls.
It's also like Mario Cristobal's record against I forget what they some record he has. It was like November. His record in November is terrible. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah,
His record in the month of November is horrible.
Yeah, we're about to see what Texas A&M does in November because
right.
this is when they don't do so well either.
But dude, yeah, this is like I really stood up here and I said, hey, Miami is one of the top 3 teams in the country. And I think their roster, but their defense was nowhere to be found. Like, what did Jennings had a good game against them too. It was it was 29 for 44, 365 and a touchdown. Like so. So this we're going to talk about this in the next game here. The ACC is just a mess right now.
Yeah.
Because now your ACC championship, if it happened today, would be UVA Georgia Tech.
Yep.
So
and Georgia Tech like hanging on for dear life because now
no defense.
One more stumble. And yeah, and this one was crazy. So I do want to contrast this though because so I want to go back to this game. So in this game, after they won the game, like they stormed the field, and I'm telling you, there's like a 6-foot brick wall from the stands to the field.
Oh, in Dallas.
And these kids are jumping off of this wall onto the field, and they're like piling behind each other. Like I was like, this is the most unsafe thing I've ever seen. Meanwhile, this game, NC State, they're like waited behind the rail. They opened it up. They put like a little ramp out for them, and they like just came out almost like single file. It's like, it was so
watch
crazy.
your step, ladies and gentlemen. Watch your step. Watch your step.
So yeah, it was crazy, and I know a lot of folks who went to both of these schools in the industry that I work in. A lot of engineers that that do that some went to Georgia Tech, some went to NC State, and the rivalry is hot between them because it's one of those things. And this is it's crazy. So you're going on the road, I get it, but like to cough this one up this way. Yeah, that's the one thing that's supposed to travel and not have a day off is your defense.
Yeah, dude. Because Haynes King in a loss threw for 408.
He went off.
He accounted for like 500 yards of offense
and 4 touchdowns.
He threw for 408, 2 touchdowns, did have a pick, and then had another 20 carries for 103 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
CJ Bailey on a bum leg, I'm pretty sure, 24 for 32, 340 yards and 2 tuds. Yeah, dude, just zero defense on the Georgia Tech side because if your quarterback puts up that stat line, you should win the football game.
Absolutely.
Like, so now this is like Georgia Tech's formula was win out, potentially lose to us, and then be in the ACC championship, which can still happen theoretically. Like, because they don't have to play Miami, right?
As long as they win the ACC championship, they're in regardless. So it doesn't matter what they do against y'all. It just buries them seed wise because of the additional loss. But no, their schedule going forward is Boston College, Pitt, and then Georgia. They have a bye week this week. So it's cake for them. They've got a road game at BC, who we just saw Notre Dame beat on the road as well. And then they've got Pitt at home.
Pitt's pretty decent.
And then they host you guys.
Yep. We play them in the Benz this year. So yeah, did CJ Bailey get it done?
Oh, so it's not a home game. It's a neutral.
It's weird. Yeah, we're playing in the Benz this year. Like, I'm almost positive of that. Like, we're playing them in Mercedes-Benz. It's very weird. But yeah, instead of Bobby Dodd, which is odd.
Yeah, it is. It is in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little still. I mean, it's still in Atlanta, but yeah, it's kind of weird that it's not a Bobby Dodd.
Right.
But yeah, so Georgia Tech takes a loss and just a weird weekend, you know.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
moving right along, my friend. So I was like, I'm glad I didn't like actually bet this game or like put
No
like my real thoughts
shoot.
and feelings into
Jeez,
this.
man. No
But I
kidding.
was like, oh, plus 10, Sorsby's so good. Apparently that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter. Apparently that does
Yeah.
not matter. They were without their starting running back. That does matter apparently, because
Yeah.
goodness gracious.
Yeah. Sorsby was 11 for 33 for 221 yards. So his yards per completion were insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say we take
20 yards per completion, but his yards per attempt, 6.7.
Yeah.
He had the one touchdown, one pick. That's not so bad. But they ran the ball for 206, but it didn't really matter because it was a lot of it was like mop up garbage time, and also it was this weird combination of like it was like they couldn't dealing with trying to do a musical chairs committee approach at running back.
Yeah, when they lose their starter,
You have your leading rusher in terms of attempts is Tyree Walker with 7 for 67. You had 6 or 7 different guys carry the ball, 7, 5, 5, 4, 6, 2, and 1 carries. So like establishing a rhythm with a back, letting him set up, run this way, and then like force press the hold in one direction, and then like when you see the overplay, you can kind of use that to your advantage. You develop a rhythm, and you can set things up for future runs. But if you're only getting a carry a possession, it's kind of tough to establish any kind of rhythm. But let's stop talking about the losers and let's talk about the winners. Devon Dampier, like nothing super amazing about this, but completed over 50% of his passes, which is more than you can say for Sorsby. Did throw the 2 touchdowns, threw a pick. What's that?
I said for Swarley.
Yeah.
Brendan Swarley, according to Nick.
Oh, yeah. What is it? McSwarley? Whatever Saban called it.
Keep going.
Yeah.
My bad.
So, but they ran the ball 53 times for 267 yards with Wayshawn Parker leading the way with 17 for 104 and a touchdown. And then Dampier, I said he didn't do anything spectacular through the air, but on the ground, he was his normal athletic self, 14 for 78. Didn't have a touchdown, didn't get sacked, though. So when you look at it, that combined with the touchdowns, I know Utah turned it over a couple of times, but Cincinnati turned the ball over 3 times, and the turnovers were more costly. And it was just that constant ability to keep the chains moving and continue to convert. You had 29 first downs for Utah and only 18 for Cincinnati. So it just became a time of possession battle that Utah just kind of ran away with, and it got ugly. And so, 10 apparently was not enough. Even 11.5 when they moved the line late was not enough. And Utah just runs away with it. And Utah's right there in the thick of the Big 12 race. And Cincinnati has fallen on it hard.
Yeah, dude. Well, also the Big 12 is also chaotic right now with who's going to
Mm-hmm.
If BYU takes a loss, then this conference is going to be go sideways, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. The only undefeated team remaining, them and Texas A&M and Ohio State
in the country, right?
Yeah. There's 3 of them.
So we got some rapid fire cleanup for y'all. Mississippi State. Hey, listen.
Arkansas pulled a Mississippi State. They blew a 14-point fourth quarter lead.
Hey, listen. Shout out to Jeff Levy. Shout out to Mississippi State. Mike Leach is looking down on this program with a smile on his face, no doubt about it. They get their first SEC win in 2-3 years?
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's crazy is that Arkansas led in almost every category statistically, total yards and, and rushing. But they also led in time possession 34-25. And I don't know if you saw this. I heard this and I had to look it up myself. Arkansas 18 penalties for 193 yards worth of penalties.
Yeah, that's going to do it.
That'll do her. So, hey, and I'm also honestly kind of glad that Mississippi State gets their win of the season because they have to play us now. And I'm glad they finally got that, we did it. I know they're going to be wanting more. I know Barstool and Brandon Walker, all of them are going to be in Starkville this weekend when we come to town, and I hope we bury them. I have been, Chad can attest, I have been a Mississippi State believer this year. I have been a true Mississippi State believer, but it ends this weekend. Sorry, buddy. We're going to take you out back and hopefully just put belt to ass and move on. Because we're going to Starkville, and it's an 11 a.m. kickoff local time, which is big for us.
Yeah.
So that night would have been a little scary. So I just hope we show up and take care of business. But that's for the preview episode. We're going to move on.
Right, right, for sure.
Keeping it rolling. Ole Miss took care of South Carolina. Wasn't Trinidad Chandler's best game, but they kind of slap him around and call it a day. You know, I think that Lane Kiffin should stay at Ole Miss. That's just me.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I'm hearing things. I'm hearing numbers in the 13 to 14 million a year range.
Well, you are the top job.
Nasty.
You guys get the pick of the litter. If your job is open, you guys get the pick of the litter.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff with our governor that kind of rubs some people the wrong way, but I think a lot of that, the damage control has been deftly executed, and I think we're going to be all right. But the thing about this one that jumped out to me is this is one of those games in typical Ole Miss years, and we're seeing it with A&M as well. I've talked about these teams a lot. That Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Mississippi State. Some of these teams when they've had good years, the Dak Prescott year,
right,
where Mississippi State started off like 7-0.
Yeah.
And then they just fell apart at the end of the season. This was one of those games where there's an opportunity for Ole Miss to stub their toe looking ahead, or, coming off of a big win last week against Oklahoma, whatever, letdown or a trap. And the top of the SEC is taking care of business. And that's why you're seeing teams like Florida and South Carolina and Arkansas and Auburn, teams that were thought like these teams could finish in the top half of the conference. They are being buried under an ocean of losses within the conference, where they came into the conference, undefeated in the like South Carolina actually looked decent to start the season with their out of conference wins and looked like, okay, well, maybe they're going to be able to get it done. And then they just have run into it. And Ole Miss is getting things done. Like they have one loss that is a very close and a very respectable loss in Athens to you guys, and that's it. Like this Ole Miss team is for real.
They're legit. They're for real. They're absolutely for real.
So yeah,
there's no doubt about it for me at this point.
It's crazy, but it's that razor thin margin where I don't think this South Carolina team is this bad. It's just that it's tough if you play 6 or 7 out of the top 10 SEC teams. Good luck.
Right. So. And then, Penn State put up an effort, but dude, Ohio State, just a bunch of freaks on that team. Oh my God, dude. Jeremiah Smith, Cornell Tate, just one-handed grabs. And Julian Sayin is a really good quarterback. Yeah. But it's also nice, but you could just throw it as far as you can and let your guy run underneath it. It's pretty smooth sailing. And they have a running back named Bo Jackson, which is also wild.
Yeah.
Rushed for, I think, over 100 yards.
Does he know baseball?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. We don't know. But, yeah, Ohio State, I think, is just going to roll until they have to play Michigan, and then we'll see. And I'm sure they're going to kill them, too. But we don't know.
That a lot of times, but
we don't know.
We'll see what happens.
I wonder what it's like to just not have to worry about your games until the
end of the year. It's must be nice.
Whatever is what I have to say. They're still a great team. Rich Rod getting it done. Connor Wegman accounted for like 5 touchdowns, and still they still lost this game at home, by the way. So Rich Rod showing some life for West Virginia. I think that West Virginia is one of those teams that, like, when they're good, and I hope they will be one day, college football is just more fun. Like when Morgantown's like burning couches on like a weekly basis, that's just super fun. Teams like Nebraska, teams like West Virginia, teams like Florida State, like when they're good, college football is just better for it, in my opinion. So shout out Rich Rod and West Virginia for taking care of business on the road, making the Big 12. And this was like, Houston was on an upswing, supposedly.
Yeah.
12-point favorite and gets beat by 10. So shout out to the Mountaineers taking care of business on the road. Unfortunate situation in
Very.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
You know, 2 teams rocking the blackout attire this weekend lost at home.
Mm-hmm.
They blacked out Lincoln. It looked sick. They had the whole black uniforms. They had the black N in the middle of the field. And they had a lead. And then Dylan Ariola unfortunately gets hurt and will be out for the season with a broken leg. Latif, the backup, is actually not that bad. And they did have a chance to win, and I feel so bad. Emmett Johnson falls down at the 1-yard line on 4th and 1. Falls down a yard short when they were 4th and 1.
Yeah, on 4th and 1. Yeah.
And USC seals it. But Nebraska played good. This is right after Rule signs a contract to be the coach till 2032.
Mm-hmm.
So he will not be Penn State's head coach. So now I'm curious to see who's going to be it. So yeah, it's really
None of that stuff matters if Penn State comes with enough money and whatever else and buys it out. So
we'll see what happens.
We're
And
just
to
have to wait and
finish it
see
all off,
Yeah.
to finish it all off, Hugh Freeze has finally been let go. What just an ugly game. I'm pretty sure they didn't start Jackson Arnold, and then they put him in. They took him back out.
Yeah.
Woof. Just a ugly game. And yeah,
I just don't know how you I know if Mark Stoops is going to have one thing, he's going to have a defense that comes to play and travels, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still, you scored 3 points. 3 points
against Kentucky.
That's what I was going to say. Like this is not the Auburn team we were told.
Usually, once you have Big Blue Madness, Kentucky football usually falls off, and they still get a W anyway.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. So now we have another. And Auburn is one of those programs that will absolutely throw the bag at somebody to get them to be their coach. And they had but the craziest part is they had the roster. It just maybe they just didn't. I don't know, man. Arnold just isn't it. I guess
But let's talk about that because this is one of the things that has been going around with. And if you did you watch the State of the Union LSU podcast with T-Bob and
no, I did not.
Yeah, so it was actually really good. And one of the things they're talking about is like, it's one thing if you have all these guys like with the NIL stuff and everything. Like, okay, cool. If it is what it is. This is the way the game is now. But finding a guy, that's why I'm so high on like a Kelvin Shepherd or even like a Lane Kiffin. Two different approaches, but that sort of bring out the same sort of performance and like culture.
Mm-hmm.
And say what you want to say about the last couple of years of the Ed Ogeron era and some of the things that went sideways with that and everything. But just follow me on like the vibe of like there's the videos and the pictures, and you've probably seen it where he's like holding the guys back in the tunnel.
Right.
And they're like waiting, they're like ready to go. And then like when he lets them go, they're ready to go. And it's like there's a vibe. And these dudes, like they know that he'll like headbutt you with your helmet on.
Right.
And he's sitting there bareheaded, just like headbutting people, and like that sort of like Dan Campbell energy.
Right.
That is infectious versus a Brian Kelly or whoever the coach is, and maybe Mario Cristobal. I don't know. Like, all right, you have all this talent. You bring all this talent in and you pay all these guys. But at what point, when it's Saturday night and Texas A&M starts to push back after you have a halftime lead and you think you have a chance to win this game, and Texas A&M comes with that energy and that strength and that they've been dogging it out all summer to get to this point to where they can actually win in the second half and in the fourth quarter especially, and your guys are out there because you paid them. It's not the NFL in that sense yet. But it's becoming the NFL in the sense that, like, either you've got to figure out a way to make these 18 to 22-year-olds become professionals overnight, or you're going to be in a world of hurt if all you're doing is trying to be the highest bidder on the most elite talent, because there's some of these dudes who are like legitimately just out here collecting a check, and they're going to go through the motions, they're going to play and everything. But when it comes down to it's 4th and 1 at the goal line and you need a stop,
You need somebody who's going to die for
Literally
it.
die for that yard.
Yeah, and
Like,
if you don't
die
have
for every
that,
blade of grass on that field.
if you don't have that, and the other team does, you're done. Like you're screwed. And so when we're talking about these razor thin margins, that's the difference between a team that like Auburn that goes 4-5 and ends up firing their coach, and a team that is like Ole Miss, where man, nobody really gave them the time of day preseason because it's like Austin Simmons, Trinidad Chambliss, like this is your starting quarter. Okay, all right, good luck, man. You lost all these guys to the draft, blah blah blah. We talked about it. We fell into that trap too. No Princely Emanuelen and no Walter Nolan, no Trey Amos, no Chris Paul, all these guys, no Trey Harris.
Right.
You lose all these guys, no Jackson Arnold. I mean, not Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
You lose all these guys to the draft, and Lane Kiffin just reloads with dudes who want to go out there and win the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. So I don't know. I think where we're headed is there's going to be that kind of that split, and I think that we can talk about the money aspect of things. And yes, it's going to tip the scales to an Oregon. But if you don't have Dan Lanning running that program,
Right,
making those dudes want to run through a wall for him,
mm-hmm.
Phil Knight can give anybody and everybody all the money in the world. But that doesn't mean they're going to play on Saturdays like the kids at Oregon State are going to play. Because if those dudes really want to be there and want to beat the piss out of Oregon, guess what? They might actually pull it off.
Right.
So
No doubt.
it's going to be a hybrid of the money mixed with you're going to have to find somebody who can pull that passion out of those guys.
No doubt, my friend. No doubt. Well,
Yep.
You guys had a weekend off.
Yep.
We got our took care of business. There's a lot of stuff happening around in college football. We are now in November. This is where the wins matter most, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
And we are going to be rolling. We're 2/3 of the way done with the season, which breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's been such a fun time. We appreciate each and every one of y'all for stopping by. We'll be previewing this coming weekend later this week. Thanks, y'all, for stopping by for the South End Zone and for me and for Chad. Peace, y'all.
See you.
Ladies and gentlemen. Our intent was to eat. Our intent was to come eat and be hungry.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.